AskReddit by Thinversiblecats. What album will you recommend until the day you die? Rumors. Rumors is so good you'd swear you were listening to a greatest hits compilation rather than just one of their studio albums. Midnight Marauders, A Tribe Called Quest. Represent. Led Zeppelin II. But play side 1 of Led Zeppelin 4, https://yahoo.be/GEYQSORZOZSY1HATINC Z-// closed bracket when you take a chick out on a first date. It's a classy move. Stevie Wonder. Songs in the Key of Life. Innovations. Disintegration by The Cure. Came here looking for this album. Stop Making Sense, Talking Heads. Pixies Doolittle. Hey. Little Earthquakes. Tori Amos. Pure Genius. Winter is one of the best songs I've ever heard. Marvin Gaye, What's Going On? Such an amazing album, and sadly a lot is still relevant. Paul Simon, Graceland. It's the only album I've ever owned where I've liked every single song on the album. It's an absolute masterpiece, and a rare example of a pop star releasing arguably their greatest work in his mid-40s. Of course, his age only adds to the emotional subtlety and depth throughout. There are so many things I love about Graceland, but one is how he plays with the literal and the figurative. Your life is on fire, it's all over the evening news. It was the myth of fingerprints, I've seen them and man, they're all the same, etc. It's such a poetic, graceful device. Tears for Fears songs from the big chair. We watched them in a small venue like 5-6 years ago. We never really had money to go to concerts when we were young. So good. We recently got tickets to Weezer and they do some Tears covers. So freaking good. For those who crave soulful storytelling and complex characters, Good Kid, Mad City by Kendrick Lamar is an essential narrative of personal growth and the struggle against external pressures in a modern urban landscape. Violator by DM. Black Celebration. In Rainbows. As well as OK Computer. All Things Must Pass, George Harrison. I actually want copies given out for my funeral. Edit, sweet, this comment got some love. The reason I'd want this album given out, so my friends and loved ones know how great this album is. So seeing this comment gets some likes and brings more attention to my favorite album of all time. I only heard this for the first last night and I was so blown away by the album from start to finish. I've been a Beatles fan for most of my life and could not believe that I'd been sleeping on his album for so long. Harvest by Neil Young, solid from beginning to end. The Downward Spiral, 9 Inch Nails. This and Pretty Hate Machine are absolutely perfect. Back to Black by Amy Winehouse. I was in my 20s and that album was so important to me. The music is still so relevant and impressive today. Wish we could have had more from her, so I will cherish it forever. That album is a 10/10 and always will be a 10/10. It was a major part of my childhood. My mom had the CD and often played it in the car, and is still one of my all-time favorite albums. Toxicity. Songs for the Deaf Queens of the Stone Age. Hey alright, it's Skip Casper. Clon Radio, LA's Infinite Repeat. How we feeling out there? How's your drive time commute? I need a saga. What's the saga? It's songs for the deaf. You can't even hear it. Tom's Fade In. Black Sabbath, Master of Reality. Heard it when I was 6 years old and knew immediately it was music on a much higher level. Fan for 50 years. The Dark Side of the Moon still to this day, the album that impacted my life the most. That's the one I came here for. I do love Wish You Were Here as well. Paul's Boutique by the Beastie Boys. Looked out the window, seen his bald head. Portishead, Portishead. Miles Davis, Kind of Blue. John Coltrane, Giant Steps in close second. I love those albums, but I Love Supreme and Sketches of Spain are my favorites by those two.